You know, guys, I don't know what it is about Gerard Butler in January, but for whatever reason, when I see Gerard Butler, it's only in January now. And I don't know why. He's a lot better than this.
Are you feeling full metal?
So Greenland 2 Migration is directed by Rick Roman Waugh, that's a weird fucking name, and once again stars Gerard Butler and Morena Baccarin. But this movie takes place 5 years after the events of the first one, and in Greenland 2, Gerard Butler and his family are forced back onto the surface after their shelter that they've been staying in for the past 5 years starts to collapse. Knowing that the odds are against them and the chances of survival are slim, they begin to migrate east in hope of finding safety and refuge. You know, guys, I can remember when the first Greenland came out. I think it was 2020 when it came out. It came out during the height of the unspecified virus of unknown origin, and of course went straight to streaming. And you know, when I first watched the first one, I really liked it. It was a very fun family survival thriller that did a really good job of just showing exactly what the world would look like if society itself started collapsing because of an oncoming disaster. And of course, that movie ended with Gerard Butler and his family making it to their shelter and surviving, and everybody lived happily ever after. Until they decided to make this movie, and after getting through it, I'm really questioning why does this movie exist? I felt with the first Greenland that it ended on a really high note. It never really struck me as one of those movies that needed a sequel. I didn't need to see what happened next with Gerard Butler and his family. You know, the first Greenland, it felt very much like a one and done deal. So when they started dropping trailers for this movie, I was like, we're actually getting another one. I don't know what to think of that. And after watching Greenland 2, it turns out they didn't really do much. Let's get the positive out of the way. I think Gerard Butler, he's, like I said, January is his month. The guy just has really good acting chops. And you know what? He is the one that carries this film all the way through. I just wish he would be in movies that are a lot better than this. He and Morena Baccarin have really great chemistry, and you know, once again, carrying over from the first movie, you do buy that family dynamic that both of them have. Their son, he's just kind of there, I guess. But their chemistry and the way they work off each other is still very unparalleled. And like I said, they do a really good job of carrying you through this film. I say them because, like I said, nothing else really gets you through this movie. Holy crap. Turns out Greenland 2 is just a slog to get through. Greenland 2 is just full of a lot of scenes of characters and people walking around from place to place and not a lot happening in between. And it's not to say that stuff doesn't happen in this movie. When the characters are dealing with destruction happening around them and they're interacting with other people that they come across, the movie does pick up. But those long stretches where nothing is happening just really drags the movie down. And the movie does have genuine moments of tension, or at least tries to give you genuine moments of tension. Whether or not the group is dealing with still falling meteors from Earth's orbit, or just encountering survivors along the way that may be out to kill them, because once again, in a post-apocalypse, you really don't know who you can trust. The attention to detail is really cool, and just the environments that the characters go through, it is pretty visually appealing at some points. Alright, no more beating around the bush. Let's just dive full in onto the dislikes. Like I said, the movie just gets really slow at certain points, and it only really gets that way after the first half. The first half of this movie is pretty decent. Once you get to the end of the first half, going into the second and just onward, it drags. Also, new characters in this movie, they introduce some new characters, but don't get attached to any of them, like, at all. This movie does a thing that I hate very much in storytelling, where it'll introduce new characters and it'll build them up, and you'll get to that point right where you start to like them, and then they're just killed off. It happens like 3 times in this movie, and I think by the 3rd time I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. I guess there's just also things about the geography and the layout of this new world that really don't make any sense. Like, we're told in the movie that there's certain places out there in the world that are kind of just overrun by radiation, and then there's other places on the planet that are pretty much just uninhabitable. The movie even goes as far as to show you a map at one point of all the places that the characters pretty much can't go. And if you look at the area where the characters were in the last movie, you're like, well, if they had just kind of stayed there, there, I guess they would have been fine. The movie even talks about how like 75% of all humanity like died in the last movie. But at the beginning of this one, it's showing you like the aftermath of what Sydney looks like, what New York, what basically all these big cities look like after the freaking comet hit. You look at that and you're like, there is no fucking way that only 75% of humanity died out. There's just no way. If anything, if you were not in a bunker underground at the end of the last film and you were still on the surface, you are dead. Nobody is surviving that. I don't care what this movie says. It's like you show us all that devastation and then you turn around and you say only 75% of humanity died out. It's like, no, all these people that are shooting each other and fighting with each other over valuable resources realistically probably should be dead. I don't know if I could call those plot holes. It's just from a logical standpoint for me personally, it just doesn't make sense at all. Thinking. I'm trying to think of other things to talk about because, like I said, this movie just kind of feels like a big nothing burger at times. In the end, guys, that's pretty much all I got for Greenland 2. I thought the movie had some pretty cool, genuine moments of tension. That first half was really good, where it's just establishing the characters again, and, you know, you get to see a little bit of what the world looks like after the comet disaster. When the movie is doing that stuff, it is pretty intriguing and pretty cool. But unfortunately, once this movie gets past that first half, it drags to a halt. Like, you just feel like you're in that theater forever. By the end, you're just clamoring to get out of that theater. So, unfortunately, I'm just gonna have to give Greenland 2 Migration a D-. I hate it. You know, it just stinks because the first movie was really good, and then this one just kind of comes off like an unnecessary sequel that didn't need to exist, especially since Gerard Butler and Morena Baccarin are so good. It's like, you guys are so good. Like, you don't need to be in movies like this. Come on. Like, I know you better than this. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you guys are having a good day, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video as well. You know, drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and click that notification bell to get notified about all my latest videos. I do have plans to like start live streaming on this channel like in the near future. So if that's something you'd be interested in seeing, please let me know in the comments below, because like I said, I want to try different things, but I want to know if people are going to be there for it. I don't want to just attempt to do it and nobody show up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. I am, of course, Full Metal Critic, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody.